And that was quite painful. In some areas more than in others, it was so painful that I was like twitching, like for real. I really thought my skin was burning to a crisp. I was in Korea. I did some fun work stuff, and on our last day, we had free time, and so with my manager Ponma, hi Aura, hi, thank you Slay. With my manager Aura, with my manager Ponma, and our cover staff translator who's like in charge of like Korea things, who's really awesome, really helpful. We were like doing things that we wanted to do. And my manager, my manager loves Korea, and she really wanted to get some skin treatments done because she's like, oh, Korea has so many nice skin treatments. マネージャーさんが韓国の最後の日になんかスキンケアなんかスキントリートメントなんか韓国でいろいろあるから有名なやつやりたいなって言ってて、じゃあついていくよって言った私が。So we were doing like some research and we were asking for advice from all the girls that I met, all the Korean girls. I'm like, do you have any? Thank you for the super chat, Paolo Günther. Thank you. I was like, do you have any recommendations like for famous places? But there's like millions of these places all over the city. So like, you know, it's just hard to choose when there's so many. Andそう、化粧品もね、いっぱい買ったけど、スキントリートメントが、なんか、韓国にしかないやつがいっぱいあるみたい。Yeah, my manager did some research, and yeah, she wanted to do some specific treatments. What are they called? One of them is called Rejuran, and one of them is called Oligio. And then there's a bunch of others that don't have such super specific names, but so eventually we found a place, we reserved, and we went on our last day where we would fly back to Japan in the in the evening. So Olive Young, no, Olijang. It's a treatment. I also went to Olive Young, but this is called Olijan. Yeah, I don't know. Like that. Yeah, and so we went to this place, and it was like really clean, really nice looking, and they had like really professional, good English speaking staff. So first we went in there into a room with the doctor. Well, he was called a doctor, so I'm assuming he's really a doctor, but sometimes you don't know, I guess. But it was a doctor, supposedly, allegedly, and and the translator lady, who was really pretty and had like the most British accent ever, and it was a consultation. まずはね、そこの医者さんに何がおすすめなのか教えてもらったんですよ。詳しく、めっちゃ詳しく。And this doctor would go like really hard on explanations like, oh, you need this and this and this and this and this. Like he would look at our faces, touch our skins a little bit, squeeze our cheeks a little bit, and be like, oh yeah, you need this and this and this and this. And well, of course, he would also ask like what our concerns are, and I said, well, I wasn't sure. Like I said, well, my like maybe pigmentation, and I have like quite the red nose. キャラは鼻がちょっと赤、常に赤、常に赤なんで、そこら辺がね、肌の色もちょっとね、綺麗になりたいなと思ってたり、It just stands out that my nose is so red because my skin is so white. And then I don't really care too much about wrinkles, but I was like, I guess I have developed some wrinkles on my forehead, so I don't know if you guys some nice skin treatment for that. And he asked me, okay, raise your eyebrows. I raised my eyebrows. He's like, oh, you need Botox. I'm like, no, I'm a pass. I'm a pass on the Botox. Thank you. He's like, but Botox. I was like, and that it was at that moment that I knew like, I'm not gonna. This feels like they were trying to upsell like all kinds of things. My manager was like, "Hey, no." I'm like, I don't want to get Botox, no, because then I can't move my fucking forehead anymore. No, but it just felt like it was so crazy because I thought we were just gonna get like peelings and stuff here, but then he hits me with the Botox and I was like, oh, they have everything here, I guess. I mean, power to those people who want to put in Botox. That's fine. I've had a different kind of filler thing done in the past that was hyaluron. I don't know how you pronounce it, but years ago, I think before hololive, because I have quite the complexes about my eye bags. In a way, I have too much skin there. It's genetic though. Yeah. And I had something like that before. It dissolves after a while, but I did it like twice in my life, and it was so apparently I don't know. Back then I was already told like my reaction is intense and strong and unusual. Most people don't experience any trouble. Meanwhile, I feel like the super strong pain, and I feel like I'm starting to get really sick and dizzy, and I'm about to pass out. And because there's also the sensation, like even though they're just putting it like in this specific area, like under your skin, under your eye, it feels like it's going through your whole fucking skull. At least to me, it felt like that. So I hated that. I really hated that back then. So after a while, I was like, you know what? Whatever. I don't like this part of me, but I'm gonna accept this part of me. And it also didn't bother me that much anymore after some time. So I stopped doing it. I only did it like twice. It dissolved and whatever. I wasn't gonna do it anymore because I hate the feeling. It's really painful, and yeah. That was years ago. So anyway, in this place though, I thought they were only doing like, I don't know, peelings and shit. But no, they do a lot more stuff. And so in the end, I was suggested 4 things. And I took a picture of the... I'm not gonna show the picture, I guess, but I'm gonna... Do you wanna know? いろいろおすすめされたんだよ。ボトックスわかる？それもおすすめされたんだけど、いや、いいかなと思って。それはちょっといらないかな。Yeah, but yeah. So, it was like number one thing. I think most of these things they recommended for like my pigmentation and all that. And then some stuff was should supposedly maybe have a little bit of a lifting effect. I don't know. One thing was something called Fine, and the other thing was Premium Fine. But it's lasers. Let me. I got the proper. No, 5, not fine. And the written. I can't read the letters. It's like lasers, and the premium one has 5 lasers. The other one doesn't have 5 lasers; it has less, maybe 3 or so. I don't know. It's 5 different lasers. Let me tell you about the lasers that go onto your skin. But 5 different laser wavelengths combined to clear pigmentation, reduce melasma, and smooth skin texture. I've never done this before. Oh yeah, I should do a girls talk about stuff like this. There's a Genesis laser, improves skin texture and stimulates collagen production. Picotoning, breaks down deep and invisible pigment safely with minimal thermal damage. Clarity laser, targets surface blemishes like freckles, dark spots, and age spots. NDYAG laser, penetrates deeper layers to clear stubborn underlying pigment. And the helium neon laser, soothes and aids skin recovery post-treatment. So that was one of the things, and the premium thing was of course a little bit more expensive, around $260 euros, so also around 260 USD roughly. The one with less lasers would have been a bit cheaper, I suppose. Quite a bit cheaper. And then another thing was called RE20. RE20. Do you want to know what RE20 does? RE20. So, this one's interesting. It says, it's an extracellular matrix skin booster that delivers pure collagen, elastin, and hyaluronic acid directly into the skin. Supplies building blocks like collagen and elastin straight to the dermis, helps smooth thin skin, tighten sagging areas, and reduce large pores. And it's similar but different from Regeron, the one that my manager was talking about. So this was like, they said like it's doing this, putting this into the skin. So I asked the translator, does this mean it's like done with a needle? And I'm like referring to what I've done before, you know, like is this actually going like inside of me? And she's like, no, there's no needle used. And then she says what's being used, and I'm like confused about it, because to me that sounds like a needle, but I'm like confused. I'm like, okay, you say it's not a needle and you say it doesn't hurt. She said none of this hurts. The doctor and the translator said none of this hurts. Nothing hurts, even if you're, because she asked us if we're like sensitive to pain. I said yes. And she's like, well, no, these things don't hurt. I'm like, okay. But also she said this doesn't use a needle, so I'm like, okay. I wonder how they do it. And then there was the Botox that was recommended, but I didn't get. And then another thing was called Oligio. Where's my Oligio notes? It's a non-invasive radio frequency skin tightening and lifting treatment. It uses monopolar radio frequency energy at 6.78 MHz to heat the deep dermal layers of the skin, stimulating new collagen and elastin production with virtually no downtime. Collagen stimulation, controlled heat energy contracts existing collagen fibers and triggers long-term regeneration for firmer skin. They microwave you? Yeah. And then fat reduction and contouring helps smooth localized fat pockets in areas like the cheeks or double chin to support a V-line facial shape. And comfort and safety features an integrated real-time cooling system and vibration mechanisms to minimize discomfort and protect the outer skin layer. No downtime. It only takes 20-30 minutes and you can go do your thing after. Okay, so those are the 3 things I ended up choosing, because I was like, might as well. Let's try these things out. Let's just try. Wait, I kind of want that. Okay, so let me tell you. I was told everything will not hurt. Everything did fucking hurt. 全部痛かったよ。痛くないって言われたのに、クソ痛かった。It was so painful. So first, me and my manager were brought into a couple room. That was nice. 2 beds next to each other. Even though we were doing different things, but similar. We lie down and they prep me, and then they start bringing out the 5 lasers. It's one machine, but it's like 5 lasers. Or actually, did they start at the... No, it was the 5 lasers, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. And then, I don't know, man. It was painful. It was like, it felt so. There's the Oligio and the 5 lasers, they were quite similar in feeling, because both of it was like pinching. Oligio was tiny, hot pinches, tiny, like needle, tiny. Like it felt like tiny needles, nails on my skin that were really hot and super pinchy, and they had to do it many times. And that was quite painful. In some areas more than in others. It was so painful that I was like twitching, like for real. And then the other thing was like more bigger pain, bigger area of pain, and burning. Like, I legit thought I'm gonna have burn marks after this. I didn't, but it felt like I was gonna have burn marks. like pretty big, like eye size. I don't know what's a good example. As big as the it felt. The sensation was as big as the chicken on my neck. The chicken necklace on my neck. And that also over and over and over and over again. And in specific areas, it hurt like way more than in others. And really, it was like, holy moly. I really thought my skin was burning to a crisp. It was crazy. Even though they had this cooling stuff on it. Ah, it was crazy. So painful. I was like, I must look like shit after this. But then I look in the mirror and I look normal. I mean, I will say, after all of this, after I had the lasers and then the Oligio, which was also kind of a laser. After that, I looked in the mirror and I will say, I think my skin looked overall, like the pigmentation and everything, looked more evened out. My nose was a little bit less red. And I may have had more definition on my jawline, indeed. Yeah, it's a bit hard to tell, but I think I did. To be expected. Yeah, right? I spent $800, $900. But then after these painful treatments, my last one was up, and at this point, here and there, I would see, because I had to switch rooms quite a bit, but here and there, I would see Ponma again, and I'd be like, "How are you doing?" And she's like, "Everything hurts." She couldn't even speak properly. Like, me too, girl. What did they do for you? What hurt most for you? And then, like, that was like when the doctors weren't in the room, and we both had to wait because we had some kind of lasers in our faces, just waiting it out. Yeah, we were just exchanging pain stories. And then my last thing with the mysterious non-needle thing. It turns out it's like pretty much exactly the thing that I did in the past. They numbed the whole area, and going in there, and excruciating. Holy shit! Oh, so painful. They gave me a plushie, and I was like ripping it apart and twisting it, just choking the shit out of it. It hurt so much. And then my eyes were swollen as fuck. One was more swollen than the other, and I looked like someone punched me. And so I kept telling, yesterday during the dance lesson, I kept telling everybody, yeah, my manager punched me. And then I immediately followed up with, no, that's not true. But yeah, I think it's better now. But it took like 2 days. Well, haven't done that in a while. Haven't done that in a while. So it was professional. It was clean. I do think there's results. I don't think the upselling was good, but you know. I don't know. They were really. They asked all. They answered all of our questions in very detail, and yeah. My manager wants to try more things. Meanwhile, I'm like, maybe stuff that doesn't hurt would be nice. That was so painful. I don't know how you can say it doesn't hurt. What do you mean it doesn't hurt? It hurts so bad. But it was an experience. You're already perfect. No more torture. I'm not perfect, but you know, it was an experience. Yeah. 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 But no, I will say, like, I don't think it was for nothing. Definitely, it was interesting. It was an experience, but I really think it did something. Huh? Yeah. If you're strong against pain and you have such concerns, go do it. Mm, if you want, if you're really strong against pain, it will be painful. Trust. Mm. Now you have a topic for the next Girls Talk episode. Yeah. I didn't think I would be doing the hyaluron thing anymore. I hope it doesn't migrate into my brain, because I know that's the thing. Like many years ago, they started doing these hyaluron fillers, and back then it was like, oh yeah, it dissolves naturally because it's like something that your body already produces, and it will just dissolve naturally. And then like a few years later, it comes out that some people had it migrate into areas in their face, like their eye or their, I don't know where. That's like super super rare, but it can happen, and that's the kind of thing that like wasn't known in the beginning. So it's like, oh, oh, oh. Didn't happen to me though, but I do feel like at the time and like migrated a tiny bit, but when I say that, it's like it just moved like by 1 centimeter or so, which is like I guess pretty normal. Wasn't a big deal. Yeah. Such are the adventures. My manager is listening. It'll be worth it once the results come out on our face within the next week or 2 weeks. Yeah, no, but I think mine are all immediate. My manager did something that said like the effect is not immediate. It will take longer. My manager was in so much pain, but she was so happy and so satisfied. And she was like barely she was like She's so strong. She's like, I want to do another one. What? Your Religio. Well, my Religio takes a while. Religio was the one that supposedly does some lifting, right? Yeah. Okay. All right. My pores are like non-existent. Oh, that's interesting. She says her pores are non-existent now. I saw her like mid-treatment. I told her, she was like, how do I look? And I said, your pores look huge, but other than that, you're fine. But maybe that was the one step that happens in between the pores then closing and disappearing forever. Good for her. It's kind of cute though. I'm glad I could do something like that with my manager. It was her idea, but like cute bonding experience with my manager. Yeah, maybe one day we'll come back to Korea and she goes again and does something really hardcore, and I just do the most gentle treatment that they have on their menu. Yeah. So I have a lot of stories besides that also, like Korea stories. You wanna hear more? 結果めちゃくちゃ痛かったけど効果はあると思います。でも痛みに弱いな人にはあまりおすすめしない。マジで痛い。Was it more or less painful than the electric? You mean my hair removal on my legs that was in my armpits. That's my hair removal that was permanent. Not laser. It's with light. There's a slight difference there. The skin hurt more. The skin treatments hurt more. But also the hair removal hurts a lot less or a lot more depending on your skin and hair type, and also the region. Where your skin is thinner and closer to the bone, things hurt more. Which is the same for the lasers. Where your skin is thinner and closer to the bone, it will hurt more, apparently. Lasers also type. Yeah. It's kind of different though, because the usual, when people talk about laser hair removal, it's not permanent. Usually, what they're talking about. My thing was permanent. Yeah, they like burn the root of the hair forever, and yeah, it really doesn't come back, which is convenient for me. I normally don't shave my legs anymore. Getting a tattoo is painless for you at this point. No. Things will still be very, very, very painful. But yeah, maybe I'm preparing myself for my inevitable future partner tattoo with my mom. Shaving legs is such a hassle. Yeah. And I have like really thin skin, but my hair's a light skin, and my hair's shine through. So I was like, I need to do this. Yeah, blueprint tattoo. No.